Well, hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome to Your True Self. Thanks for joining me on this channel. I'm Deb Courtney from debcourtney.com. And before I go ahead, please like and subscribe to this channel and happy to share it along as well to anyone else that you feel can get value out of what, I just like to chat about and share and help us all learn at the same time. So today, yes, I do a lot of teaching. Really enjoy teaching people about health, about wellness, about mindset, and and obviously teaching students, nursing students along the way. But the other thing is that I really, really love learning. And over the past probably 8 years or so, I've done more learning and more growth than I have in probably the other 40 years. Before that, I think, what is you passionate about? Now, I've always loved being able to help people, but when you want to try and help people to a greater scale, there's that kind of that teaching that is involved, and having to get yourself out there, even just doing something like this, that's a massive thing to get used to and to put yourself out there to help other people along from what you've been learning. So I do really, really love learning, but learning's good, but you also do need to apply it. So what I often hear from people, some friends, some fellow women who have seen me along the journey, are often saying, I don't know how you get all of that done in that amount of time. Like, how do you do what you do? And obviously, busy life, busy wife, and, working around kids, jobs, businesses, shift works, it does get challenging, but that's okay. When you really want to do something, you do find a way. So one of the ways I was just thinking that I would share and suggest with you is, because otherwise sometimes we get stuck in a rut. Without that learning and that growth, we can get really stuck in a rut and kind of sometimes wonder what life's all about. So how do you actually get that learning, or find a hobby or a dream or a passion that you really want to know more about? How do you do that? So for me, a lot of it was to do with personal development, to do with wellness, to do with honing in further on gut health that's, so close to my heart, but and also with my background in nursing, stomal therapy, that kind of area. That's another area that I wanted to learn about. So the way I have done it, and the way you might find useful, is the first thing I did was start turning off the TV. Okay, now I can't even stand the TV on. I don't even really like what's going on there. So, and in fact, we just had this conversation today with my husband when he said, last night was the first night I sat down and watched a little bit of TV. And I was doing some marking, and I said, yeah, we haven't really done it for a long time. But to be honest, there's nothing on there that I even want to watch. So if we do go and watch something, it's usually a deliberate choice to put the TV on and sit down and perhaps do it as a family. So that's one step, is to turn off the TV. It is a massive time waster. Before you know it, hours have gone by. And that's the same with social media. Hours and hours and hours can go by. So what you could do maybe there is have, we do like to see what's going on in the world. That's sometimes a good place to find things to learn about or hear what other people have got to say. So, you don't necessarily want to get rid of it completely. Some do, and that's fine. But maybe instead find an allotted time to be on there rather than scrolling mindlessly, endlessly. And again, before you know it, a couple of hours or more has gone by. So that's another way of going about it. The other thing that I found that worked really well for me was while I was cooking or even doing the cleaning, or having to do long drives that I did when I was living in Broome and doing day trips, almost 2.5 hours one way, 2.5 hours back, I would use that time to actually listen to an audiobook or a podcast. So, if you're in the peak hour traffic and you're stuck there, rather than listening to a radio or something, maybe find a podcast that you really enjoy, or a book that you have been wanting to read for a long time. So for me, a lot of the books were spiritual books, self-help books, empowerment books, books about health, and that's the same with podcasts and listening to people talk about that. Because for me, that was increasing my education, while I had that time of perhaps not being able to go anywhere else but confined to the car, and I had to listen. And the same way with, preparing dinner. We are great at multitasking. Sometimes we should try not to. But when you're preparing dinner, it's probably the good time, because you can always put your laptop or your phone on the bench and press play as to whatever it is that you're wanting to listen to or watch. That's just another way of doing it. And I find that I can work around the tasks that I kind of need to do for the family, and still get some learning involved. That's just another suggestion that you could do. But just taking that time out for yourself, taking that time to find an area that you really like, or even if it's going to a workshop that you want to go to, and allocate that time and let everyone in the family know that that's what you're doing, and why you're doing it. And then there's usually a lot more support to go with that. So you can sneak in little bits of learning along the way. Even if you're doing the cleaning and you've got the stereo on, you can connect your phone, Bluetooth it, whatever you've got in the house, or earphones, and be listening while you're cleaning, getting a couple of tasks done at once. And before you know it, you can easily add in a couple of hours of learning a day before you know it. So that's what really works for me, and I guess that's how I've managed to do so much learning, so much growing over that time. I don't like to waste time. I do like to have some time to myself, and that's really, really important. But that learning is kind of time for me. That's where I get my some of my joy, some of my bliss is from gaining that knowledge, and then I can put it all together and help other people from what I've learnt. So let me know how you go with that. Maybe try a couple of things, or if you've got any tips, really love to know. It's all about sharing those sort of concepts, and if you've got something that works for you, then please put it in the comments and share those ideas of how you've managed to get through. Maybe it's through doing a bike ride or going for a walk and listening to something. That's what I found. I stopped playing music and actually listening to something. And again, sometimes playing music is the uplifting part of the soul, and it's okay. But I was finding that my best time was if I was out on a walk on my own. That would be a really good time to actually listen to something that I really wanted to listen to. So you can throw it in there every so often. And the good thing is where you stop is usually where it's left off, and you can start it again from the same spot. So that's just, you don't have to miss out, and it might be half an hour a day to an hour a day, but you can add in that bit of learning that you want to do. So that's about it for today. Speaking of learning, I better go and do a little walk and pick the boys up from school. That's me forcing myself to get outside and do something. I'm very fortunate to be able to see the beautiful weather outside that we've got now, so I know that it's going to be okay. It has been pretty cold for me, and that's why I've got lots of clothes on in here. I feel the cold. But please like and subscribe, as I said, to this channel. Jump onto the Facebooks and what's the other one? Instagram, and feel free to tap into all the stuff that I'm putting out there. And obviously you can go to the website debcourtney.com and share that as well. All right, you take care of you. You find some time for yourself. Find some time for your learning and your growth, because your growth actually, impacts you, but also impacts others. So take care, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.